All right, we're live.
Woohoo!
We're live on gun channels, and I'm just waiting for the delayed YouTube to catch up. There we go. We're there. Okay, welcome live from the crossroads of America to Rick's Life as I See It, a talk show about guns, politics, or anything else that crosses my mind. Also, we will answer questions from the audience. If you just write them in the chat there, we'll look at them and see what we can do, or email me at rickslifeasiseeit@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. Also, if you can't make the full show, the audio will be downloaded on Podbean, Stitcher, and iTunes within 24 hours of ending. I also have a Patreon page, and that's up there on the below my good-looking self there on my lower thirds on the window there, or it's below on both. It's on gun channels and YouTube. If you look below the picture on info, it's down there somewhere.
You need to do these damn openings in scroll text.
Yes, or whatever. Yeah. All right, we got so far. We got Zorro, Rich White, the Poor Conservative. Is that Yoder, Texas, Midnight Range, Seven Wonders, Black Cat Outdoors. We got Patrick, Sean, Pennery. How you want to pronounce his name?
Pennery.
Yeah, we got David Bolin who's doing duty there, and we got Dano, Tony. They're all doing double duty. So anyway, let me introduce my panel real quick. I got invites out. If anybody else shows up, let's hope so. But we just got just Dano. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
And we got David, the Kingpin Bowling.
Hey, thanks for having me, Rick. Tony said earlier that he wasn't going to hang out because he doesn't like you anymore. Oh, yeah, hey, Tony, I didn't see you there.
I heard him on Caliber Corner this morning.
Thanks for having me, Rick.
Yeah. Then we got the one and only Tony.
I'll tell you what, good help is fucking hard to find.
It is. It
Howdy,
is.
everybody.
Really is.
Good afternoon, all that crap.
Yeah. All right. Oh, gun-loving Grandpa Stanley just showed up. John Brown Productions. Oh, that's pretty good. I do the quiz for last week. Give the answer out. Actually, it's one of the best turnouts I've had on the old quiz. This one, and it all had to do with Donald Trump. Can you imagine? So there we go. All right. I mean, we can talk about any gun-related bill that's coming out if you want. I just put, what was it, H.R. 822. That's, federal. They're trying to put a bill in now where you have to have liability insurance to own a gun. Now, and I was wondering how that was going to work, especially like in New York, because they've told insurance companies they can't do insurance in their state.
Where did the Supreme Court come down on the precedence of them saying that you had to have Obamacare?
True. I don't know. I'm just saying but I mean, if that goes through, and then New York's basically blackballing anybody from owning a gun. They've squashed the Second Amendment, just like that. But the Second Amendment's still there on paper, but you won't be able to do it in actual thing. So it's going to have to be a court case.
Well, they're going to make it. They're going to make it a government insurance. They're going to set up some type of bureaucracy that the government is an insurance company now, and you're going to have to get government insurance to own firearms. That way, they can keep track of who's got firearms and who doesn't.
It's another tax.
Just make it once again. Make it so unaffordable that you can't afford to buy ammunition or firearms.
And again, it's another registration scheme.
Yep. I mean, it's a multi-pronged attack. As you guys already mentioned about the backdoor registration and raising the bar financially for those that are already scraping nickels and dimes together to make it through the week. And granted, not all of us are necessarily in that position, but there are people like that out there, and they deserve their rights just as much as we do.
Me and Rick are one of those because we're on a fixed income.
I am as well, and I question that, but that's another topic for another time.
Question what? You being on a fixed income?
No,
or us
as
being on a
far
fixed
as
income?
if being on our fixed income means that we're poor.
Well, I sure as hell don't have a whole bunch of expendable to throw away.
Hey, I'm so poor I don't even have to file income taxes.
Mm-hmm. But you get to eat, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming we all. Granted, Rick, you didn't grow up in the United States technically, but I'm not trying to detract from you are 100% an American. But in this country, I was raised, and I know our other participant in here was that what poor meant there were pictures of that when we were growing up in the 60s and 70s. And what poor meant is kids with bloated bellies.
Now, wait a minute. Today in the United States, the poor can eat better than people who are slightly above poor.
We have the richest poor people in the world in this country.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's my only point.
Don't get me wrong. To be quite honest with you, I mean, my disability amount is above the national average for a single person.
I mean, so, I am unbelievably appreciative.
I'm poor with money. I'm bad. Even after 62 years, I'm still terrible managing money. I mean, I get by. I can make it work, but I should have more money than what I got. Let's put it that way. So.
Well, we all have our weaknesses. Nobody here is perfect. And myself being number one.
So. Oh, by the way, I put the link in Gun Channel's chat if anybody wants to join the panel. So.
And if you want to join up at Gun Channels, it is free, and you can actually sign up for an account and get that going, and actually get that link once you sign up and join this chat before it ends.
Those of you listening on YouTube, if you're not a member of Gun Channels, I pose this question. Why the hell not?
Exactly. So,
I mean, I've been a member since it started, and I can, through my own personal experience, say if you're worried about, well, they're going to have my email list, and I'm going to start getting all sorts of junk mail. Never happened.
It hasn't happened.
That's not the way this runs.
It hasn't happened to me either.
What a lot of people don't also understand about Gun Channels is there's so much more than just watching videos over there. There's the lobbies, then there's the not on air lobbies, then there's the blog discussions. I mean, there's so much that Gun Channels offers more than just go watch a video over there.
Yeah.
Off air lobbies are where you can say what you really think.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, not only that is because I got it on my actual, Rick's Life as I See It page on Gun Channels. You can actually watch this live over there on Gun Channels without even opening nothing up YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a chat in there too. So, we're not completely stuck with YouTube. So, there we go. What we got in the chat? Let's have a look. No, ain't much going on.
Hey, Patrick.
So, oh yeah, Patrick's there. He must be at work. So, all right. All right. Let me do my quiz. The answers for last week.
46.
You're close. I mean, I got a big thing from Spartan Arms out of Nevada. And, oh, damn. I sealed the envelope. So, but I got some more here, which is almost the same thing. And I got one of these one of these cool patches from Spartan Arms. That is a nice patch. And I got mine, of course. And I got from the Tactical Pickle. And a few business cards. And that. Then I got my little... Didn't they used to call these little trading cards once upon a time? I got that in there.
Yep.
So that's basically what's in that one. Basically that's the same. It's not the same deal for this week's quiz at the end of the show. And gentlemen, that will be it for a while until I buy some more stuff. I'll be giving away. I can give away my sticker, but I don't have much else to give away. I don't know. My drawer. I see a whole bunch of stuff behind you. Hey, screw you. That's all mine.
I'll kick in a few bucks if you want to get a hold of Angelina and buy some stuff.
Yeah, I'll see what she's got.
I've got 2 pistol holders. HYSKORE, high score. They both hold 3 pistols. So if you want to give those away, 1 week and then another week, I'll be happy to throw them in. They're kind of pistol frame. I don't know if you guys saw like one of my other giveaways, but I gave them away. That held 4 pistols. This one only holds 3. I've got 2 of them. Kind of like something that you would put in your safe.
Oh, okay. I'm with you now. Okay.
Is it like a carry case?
No. Let me hop on the chat on my phone, and then I'll take a picture of it. And I'll bring it up on the camera.
All right. So if anybody's got any swag they want to get rid of, send it my way. Or if you got something you want me to promote, I don't mind doing it. Just give me the swag to go along with it. I take all donations. So, all right. So, while he's waiting for that, what was I going to say? The Kingpin's. We got 2 of them now. He's on his computer. Okay, hang on. Okay, I see what you're on about. Yeah, it's to go in the gun safe. Sit on the shelf. It sits on a shelf in the gun safe, or can you screw it to the side or something?
It's made of this like foam type material. Hold it, let me turn the volume down on my phone. I guess you could put screws in it, but I probably wouldn't.
Oh dear God!
Man, we're getting back feed there. Terrible.
It won't turn down. I don't know what. Anyway, you guys get the point.
Yeah, I see. Yep. Oh, yeah. All right. I appreciate that. We'll use that in one of my things. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got 2 of them. So.
Yeah. Well, if you can, I tell you what, if you can snap an actual picture and email it to me, and I can share that next week. As I'll figure out how to share it on here and show them what the prize is.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right. Moving on. Back to what time you got to leave, Tony?
I'm going to leave here in about 3 minutes.
Okay. My next thing is Connecticut and their 50% tax bill they want to put in. Now, if anybody, you read what it says, it said 50% hike on ammo in the state of Connecticut. But if you listen to if you look at the video that that state woman, representative from whatever district in Connecticut, if you actually watch her video, she's not saying that. What she's saying is, her exact words were, if a box of ammo costs $10 now, with this bill, it will cost $15. To me, that's a 50% hike on the price, not the tax. So it kind of contradicts itself.
She wants an additional 50% tax hike, not 50% of a hike on the tax.
Right. And we have a very similar proposal here in Illinois for the exact same thing.
Oh, okay. So I misunderstood it.
No, we're talking the same damn thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, she wants a 50% price increase.
Yeah, that's the way it says in the video.
That's exactly what she said.
But it says a 50% tax hike. So what is it? 50% hike on the price or a 50% hike on the tax?
Well, the overall price will be increased by 50%. So you're talking Smith versus Smythe because the customer is still paying 50% more.
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
It isn't a tax hike so much it is an additional tax.
Yeah. If the tax was 5.25%, well, now it's going to 50%.
Okay, I'm with you. Okay, I got you. It's not 50% of what it is now. It's actual. So if it's like you said, if it's 8% now, it's going to change to 50% tax.
If it were passed.
Yeah, if it passes. And no, in Connecticut, it's like Illinois. It's total controlled by the Democrats.
Right. And this year and the next several years, as a minimum, will be even worse for us in the past because we have the perfect trifecta of an ultra-liberal governor. We've always had an ultra-liberal House of Representatives at our House level, and now the Senate, which was the only thing that we ever had going for us, has now turned hardcore Democratic as well.
Yeah.
So there's nothing except for years down the road possible court interaction and stopping this cavalcade of bills that we are getting here in Illinois, that it's inevitable that many of them will pass, from social media, to the gun tax.
I'm truly concerned about what's going to happen in Illinois. And I don't mean by what they're doing. I mean by what they're doing and the reaction.
I'm a little confused.
I see it becoming really ugly if they pass.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
all right, guys, I'm out.
Well, it's like, in some ways, it can be like, as an example, Connecticut, when they had their assault weapons ban throughout the whole state, and they had a very tiny number of people comply with registering their firearms.
Yeah.
And Rick had to leave. So good luck, Rick.
No. What are you
I'm sorry. I said Rick. I meant Tony.
Yeah, he'll be back. No, he's going to pick up. He's going to go and pick up his wife. Then he normally joins us in about maybe 30 minutes or so. He comes back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but I said if anybody wants to join us, I put the link on Gun Channels there to join the panel. If everybody wants to come on in. So there you go. Okay. What else was I going to mention? I can't remember. It's so disheartening. I'm trying to stay positive. I really am. But it's what scares me. What really scares me is, yes, we've got a Democrat House now, and of course all the gun bills are piling up and everything else. But we still have, technically on paper, a Republican Senate, but I can't. Some of those bills I think they won't entertain, but I think some of them will pass.
Because we've learned with our latest president that just because someone is Republican, and many of us already knew this, but just because a person is a Republican does not mean that they're pro-gun or pro-freedom.
You're right. So that's what scares me about some of these bills. I bet you anything you like. The one I know will pass sometime this year is the red flag law. It's going to be a federal law. Guarantee it. So, hey, Rich White's joined us. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going? Real quick, when you were talking about the Connecticut tax, Nessa Kitty was in the chat on one of the shows earlier this week, and she lives in Connecticut. She was saying that 50% is on top of the sales tax as well. So you end up having, if you pay $10 for a box of ammo, you're paying the extra $5 for that 50% tax, and then sales tax on top of that.
Oh, what I tell you, and it wouldn't surprise me that it will pass because I said it's a Democrat, totally controlled government.
And that is a typical example of, for people that are younger, they may not have heard this term of what's called a sin tax, which is why alcohol costs what it does, and why gasoline taxes are the way they are is because they want to de-incentivize the use of that product. So how do you de-incentivize the use of extra gasoline? You make the price higher. How do you de-incentivize the use of alcohol? You make the price higher. How do you de-incentivize people getting into guns? You make the price of entry higher, and then you make the price of just staying in the game higher.
Yep.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah. So, do we buy everything now? Is it panic time again? Like you guys talk about back in whenever it was 2013 or whenever it was.
It's also a part of their basic socialist agenda as well, because once they can get everybody on government health care, once they can get everybody on, a living wage, a monthly paycheck from the government, and basic dependence on the government, you won't have enough money
How are they paying for all
insurance. Well, that's exactly. They're not
when you control the printing presses, you can do what you want.
I mean, they don't necessarily control the printing presses, though.
Well, they do because they don't have to pay for it. They can just, that's why we have 22 trillion in debt at this moment.
Yeah,
they just print more money as they want or need it.
Well, the problem is that the government doesn't print the money. They borrow the money from the Fed at interest. And then
the Fed doesn't print the money. The Treasury is actually the ones that print the money. The Fed controls the interest rates and whatever on the debt that the government owes.
Right. They also have a trading desk, and they also buy their own bonds. That's how they manipulate the bond market. There's no other reason to have a trading desk at the Federal Reserve to buy stocks and bonds. It's part of the plunge protection team.
That's where we're most vulnerable as far as any of our rights is. They can eventually just make it so expensive that you can't do anything.
That plunge protection team, and it existed before, they just never had an official name for it, has been in existence for a long time. It's not like it's a new thing. It's just that people were not generally aware of it. And generally aware of the Federal Reserve does more than just control interest rates. They actually buy stocks and bonds, both corporate and municipal and federal, state.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they are registered as a bank. That's what they do.
Yeah.
And the thing is, until they recreated the Federal Reserve under the progressive movement in the 20th century, there was no American bank. Like you had the Bank of England, because that had been done away with under Andrew Jackson. He had enough of that shit back then and got rid of it. But then they brought it back again during the progressive movement so that they could control everything more.
Well, you said the key word right there. Which is what this is all about: control. If I can control your health care, I can manipulate your behavior a lot easier, or I'll just say with less difficulty, than if I don't have control over that. If I can control your ability to fight back, i.e. the Second Amendment, I can control your behavior again.
Oh, I know what I want to tell you guys. Hey, I went and showed you what the prize was, but I forgot to give you the question: who was the winner for all that stuff I showed you? And the question last week was, when Donald Trump was just a citizen of New York City, what were his two carry weapons that he said he carried? And it was a Smith & Wesson 38 Special and an H&K 45. I had about 7 entries altogether. One was wrong. I couldn't believe it. One guy got it wrong. I'm not gonna shame him by giving the name out, but one got it wrong. But where's my little handy dandy random picker here? Here it is. Let me draw now. Draw now. Who we got? Rob D, New York Outcast. You are the winner of that package. So there you go. Let me write that down if I don't forget. New York Outcast. Okay, you are the winner. And I'll give the new question out towards the end of the show. Yeah. Oh, talking about healthcare, like you were just talking about, my sister called me on my birthday, which was this past Thursday, sorry. So I wasn't shaming you there, Sean. But I wasn't shaming you. I was just saying I had one person get it wrong. So, that's all I'm saying. Yeah, my sister called me on Thursday when it was my birthday, and she was talking. She's into horses. She's in her mid-50s now. And in England, she rides horses and everything else, and she's a horse. She trains people to ride horses and this kind of stuff. Well, anyway, last summer, she says the first time it's happened in 30 years, she fell off the damn horse and hurt her back and her hip and everything else. So, I mean, she's better now. She can ride now. But she said on her right hip, she has a humongous sort of like bubble of fluid on her hip. She says you touch it and it's all squishy. I said, well, what's happening? Well, the doctor said I can have an MRI. I said, well, I go, okay. So I said, call me next week when you get the results. She says, now this is England. She's in England.
Welcome to public health care.
It's public health care, what they want to give here to everybody, right? Her appointment for the MRI is at the end of March.
Yeah, that's public health care, whether it be Canada, whether it be the UK.
Yeah, then it will take another month for them to schedule her appointment with the specialist to talk about it.
Yeah,
that's your health care for all.
Yeah.
You can't. People don't understand the concept of when, like, if you have a pizza shop that's got the best pizza in town, and he sells $1 million worth of pizza every day, and then decides, you know what, I'm going to give my pizza away. Very shortly after he starts giving the pizzas away, the quality will drop. It's inevitable. It cannot go any other way. As soon as you start giving free health care out, the quality will drop. It's a must. It cannot go any other way.
The reason why is because people abuse the system by like going in when they don't really need to go in, so it ends up being incredibly wasteful, which is what drags down the quality.
Amen to that one.
Well, and when you add on right now that happens, and then you add 300 million other people to the same program, and it's gonna collapse in days.
Oh, look, the myth, the legend, the man, Patriot in the Dark showing up.
Well, good afternoon, everyone.
How you doing?
I would forget my head if it wasn't tied on.
Oh, thank you for all the birthday wishes there in the chat. Thank you very much.
Wait a minute. Hold up, Rick. Patriot, your head is tied on.
The
That's
staples
strange.
were coming loose.
Oh, okay.
I know. In his last video, he said he was a robot.
Well, I use tape.
I mean, you heard him last night. I mean, he's talking about how he's blind and cutting down trees and stuff. He may have accidentally got his head at the same time, and just tied it back on.
All I could hear last night was Patriot and Gary fighting the whole night.
Yeah, it's hard,
Yeah.
Patriot, why are you causing trouble, dude?
If you use the red Loctite instead of the blue Loctite, your head will stay on a whole lot tighter.
Use duct tape.
Yeah.
So,
better than the purple.
how things there in Michigan? Any new gun laws coming down?
I don't know. I'm just enjoying my day with my daughter. It's finally like a real weekend, although she only went to school, 3 days last week and 2 days the week before.
Ain't she on vacation soon?
Yeah, and actually, she has 4 days coming up next week and gets Friday and the whole next week off for a midwinter break, which is insane.
It is insane. They should work them. They should cancel that and work through it to make up for the days they lost.
Well, actually, they did email and ask if they could keep them next Friday in school instead of getting out a day early to make up for one of the snow days. So I didn't tell her, but I said, yes, please, as many days as you want.
Yeah.
So.
The poor conservative. Yeah, Patriot lives in Michigan. So some guy's asking you, oh, Patriot is in Michigan too. Yes, he is.
Yeah, I'm
you know?
here. It's actually nice today, sunny.
Yeah.
You can tell you found Patriot when you see the crazy blind guy on this roof with his cane.
You get the traffic jam outside. It's always got a lot of traffic around my house when I'm outside working. I don't know why that is, but
yeah. So
what is the topic today?
Well, we're talking about some of these new gun bills coming down to all these different states. That was the main thing. You know,
you're just trying to get us angry.
I was trying to, you know, I went negative mode, you know. So, plus I was talking about that bill where it says you're going to need liability insurance to own a gun now.
Was that the one here for New York?
I thought it was a federal one. I thought that's where I found it on a federal website. It's the federal government. It's how it's in that. New York might have one similar to it, but they're saying you have to have liability insurance to own a handgun.
That's if it gets
now. But what I'm saying, where I was going with, but didn't New York come out this past summer because of the thing with the NRA's, you know, insurance? They told insurance companies in New York not to deal with companies that deal with guns.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, they said that, but now Governor Cuomo is trying to enact a law where if you own a gun, you have to have at minimum $1 million worth of insurance.
Yeah, but then he tells insurance companies not to deal with it. So basically what he's doing is confiscating guns in the total state of New York.
Exactly.
But the Second Amendment is still there on paper, but you can't use it. And our courts just sit by and watch it. That's what's so scary, you know?
Well, there's actually talk now. I'm going to have to look up where he's from, but there's some politician here. He wants to separate New York into two different states. That way, half the state can keep Cuomo, and the other half can get rid of his bitch ass.
And I reckon the other half would be a Republican state, a red state, not a blue state. Because out in the country, I think that they have guns out there.
Yeah, once you get outside New York City and the borderline, outer line counties, it is deeply red to where you would not believe to find that much here in New York.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't put too much faith in it happening. They've tried it in California and Maryland and gotten nowhere with it.
Yeah, but wasn't California supposed to fall off into the ocean by now?
I wish we could make that happen. You know?
No, that's because of Superman. I blame it on Superman.
Jerk. So next question, real quick, slightly off topic a little bit, but I was reading on the news, a new wall or a new fence is going up that the government paid for already, 600 miles. So how much more mileage does he want? A wall that he's trying to get $5 billion for. I'm just curious here. You know, does anybody know? We know he wants $5 billion for the wall, but how long is that wall going to be?
I don't know. I mean, there's only so far you can go, and I don't think what they're all realizing is you can build a wall as long as you like. They'll just freaking dig under it.
I know. But somebody said something yesterday. I can't remember what chat it was, but even if a wall, if 40% people still get through, 60% aren't. If it cuts it down, it's got to be better than what it is now. You know, I know they're not going to stop everybody from getting in, coming over under the wall, but if they can stop a percentage of it, that's got to be better than what we got now. Total open borders.
True,
Another
like,
aspect is that it's to slow people down. It takes time for human agents to get to where people are crossing. And because the agents are not psychic, they don't know, oh, tomorrow at 10 a.m. I need to be at location X. I mean, that's why it's filled with other technologies so that, okay, if we can slow them down with these other with the use of a wall or some physical barrier, and then through electronic means determine, okay, where is that? We have a chance of getting there before they get away.
Hey, G-Webs.
Hey, so did you want a wall 20 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you want a wall?
Here, but I would have gone for it.
Okay. Did you want a wall 40 years ago?
Yeah. I never realized that the wall we had was incomplete.
Did you want a wall 60 years ago?
I think they should have had a wall back in the days of the cowboys when they used to steal cattle over the river.
I was shocked when I first learned in the 80s that the wall was what that we had at that time was only a partial wall. I thought, well, that is incredibly stupid. Either have no wall or have a complete wall. What's the point of the partial wall?
Now, but the problem is, doesn't some of this wall have to go across land that people own? So they're going to have to buy it off them or take it from them?
Well, the international border is owned by the federal government. Now, the land right next to it might be privately owned.
There's a bunch of spots that are privately owned that they're going to have to do some type of negotiating with.
Yeah, and we do that all the time. That's how we put in our interstate system. I mean, that was all over private land.
Yeah.
I mean, so we have precedent for that. I mean, when they put in things that are there for the benefit of the people, I forget what the legal term is, but there's numerous precedents for the government paying you for your what they consider the fair value of your property and land, and then taking it over.
Yeah, that's the eminent domain laws.
Yes. And and if a border is not eminent domain, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they're just
Joe, Texas says a lot of the landowners want a wall on their property. You know.
Mm-hmm. So. Hopefully, G-Webs will come back because I hope the answering of my answer to his question is not why he left. Because he said, "What did you want it 20 years ago? Did you want it 40 years ago?" And I kept on saying yes. I mean, I was really shocked because I'm 57 when I discovered, because I live in the Midwest, that the border was incomplete. I thought the wall was the entire length of it with entry ports. I'm not talking about a wall with no entry ports. As a way to control access in and out of the country from basically a series of third world countries.
Yeah. 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 I mean, honestly, I always thought there was some sort of. I mean, you always heard people, you know, that they come in, you know, they're, you know, come across the Rio Grande, but I always thought there was something there that they had to get over or under still to actually put their foot on American soil.
No,
you know,
there's not. In some places there is now because of the former funding that all the Democrats actually voted for that are now voting against it. You go back to when George W. Bush was in office and they proposed this wall as part of the 9/11 deal.
Either way, the wall is just a small part of it. It's just a small part.
All the Democrats, including Pelosi, Schumer, Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, they all voted for it. Now that Trump proposed it, they're all voting against it.
Oh, yeah, because they hate him so much.
That's what it is.
Yeah, if Obama were still in office, they'd be behind it 100%.
Oh, yeah, you're right. But, I mean, yeah, another good example, I mean, I hope he doesn't get selected, is the new, you know, the guy up for Attorney General, Barr. He's an anti-gunner as it is anyway. But,
well, as we're learning more and more about our president, why you're not surprised, are you?
Too. But where I'm going with this is, even though they all liked him, right? They said he was a great guy. When it came down to the vote on the committee, it went along party lines. The Republicans outvote because there's more Republicans on that committee because the Republicans hold the Senate. So it went down party lines to move forward to go to the Senate to be voted on. And I would imagine it's going to go along party lines again.
Most likely.
I mean, what I don't get about the whole border issue is, and hopefully someone on the panel can educate me on it, he's so focused on the southern border and preventing people coming in from there. But there's no talk about the Canadian border where the 9/11 hijackers came in from. Like, wouldn't you want to put emphasis on that also? Or is that like already secured 100%?
We have limited assets, and you have to focus your money where your assets are. And I don't have the knowledge to fully answer that question, but you're talking
Regardless,
about, I mean,
the wall
both
is
borders
a small
are huge.
portion of it. It's not the total package, and it hasn't been. They're talking about, more border agents, more, surveillance, and people there to stop people coming through.
And Canada is a lot more cooperative with assisting us on monitoring the border than what Mexico is.
Yes.
Mexico, you have a lot of the people across that southern border sending money back to that country. A lot of Mexico's GDP is coming from illegals sending money back to that country. Whereas Canada, you don't have that issue. That's not an issue with them, so they're not turning a blind eye to people crossing the border like they do in Mexico.
That's literally one of their interests, is the trade of foreign labor. They trade their labor. I mean, in our country, we don't, as an industry, have the system set up to actually educate, and by educate I mean give information as to how the system works and how to go to another country, and then the culture that says, oh yeah, and then send money back to your home country. They encourage that sort of things, not through what they say. It's like, it's not always what you do, it's what you don't do. Right. The fact that they don't enforce any agreements is a big part of that.
Yeah, and the thing with the 9/11 hijackers coming across the Canadian border, they did that legally. They weren't illegal in the country until after they had overstayed their visas. They crossed that Canadian border legally.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that one.
Yeah. And plus, the northern border is less. As the poor conservative says, the northern border is less problematic than the Mexican border.
Hmm.
There's less trouble. Yes, people come through, but there's less trouble.
We've never had groups from the north by the thousands try to come in at once.
Yeah.
Never.
And he's right. Mexico doesn't help us. Look at these caravans. They just let them walk right through down the other end of Mexico and walk all the way up. They're not stopping them. Yeah, plus the Canadians do their job to protect and enforce their border. So it's two different situations, really. So anyway, we did have a question earlier on, and it was totally got nothing to do with guns or politics or anything. Midnight Range asked me what kind of sandwich I was having after the show today. And I got 2 grinder rolls, and I'm going to slice them in half, put butter on them lightly, lay ham on there, smoked ham, slice thin tomatoes, English mustard, salt, and pepper. There you go. That's what I'm having. So just I'll let you guys know just let Midnight know what I'm having. So that's what I'm having for dinner. So, all right. Anything else, guys? Anything else you want to talk about?
I know Kingpin saw it last night when we were on Gary's show, but what do you guys think about this Ocasio-Cortez wanting to ban airplanes and farting cows?
What?
That's part of her green plan, right?
Yeah, it's not in the Green New Deal because she doesn't think she can get that through right now. but she wants to do it by 2030.
I'm sorry, what does she want to do?
Ban airplanes and farting cows. Literally farting cows. If they're not farting, they're perfectly okay.
This is why we need abortion. Just saying. This is why we need abortion.
I mean, every cow does that all the time.
Yeah.
You know, every cow.
Apparently, she has clarified she wants to replace airplanes with trains. So apparently, she got this idea in her head that we could take a train from the United States to England. I guess, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. How in the hell do we do international travel without airplanes?
See,
go back to
Steam shuttle under the ocean.
Titanic.
These maniacs already have the answer for those. It's job creation. They are the one dude that was standing there talking to her the other day when she was talking about all this, was talking about all the jobs it's going to create, all the industry it's going to create, retrofitting every building in the country, and building all these extra high-speed rails, and so they think that it's going to work. Like, they're not just making it up; they actually think it's going to work.
That's what's scary, you know. But you're right. I mean, even in this country, they would have to redo, which I guess they think it's going to create jobs, redo the railroad structure, because a lot of the lines have been pulled up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and she thinks they're just going to be able to instantly install the so-called smart grid and all this other crap too. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah, but a few of the Democrat nominees who want to run for president are grabbing hold of that too. I don't see it. I can't see it happening. I really can't. But hell, you never know.
Yeah, and if you don't know what the smart grid is, that's where if they feel you're using too much power, they'll turn your electricity off.
Oh yeah, government controlled. You're controlled by the government, and you're meant to. So you're using too much, and they can turn your electricity off. But you're a free person. You're living in a free country.
Yeah, heaven forbid you live somewhere where it gets super hot in the summer and you have to turn your air conditioner on. Oh no, you're using too much power. Boop, there go your lights.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's your basic freedom. Just gone there for your choice to have your lights on. You know what I'm saying?
I wonder how that would work though.
What?
Well, they would change all your thermostats and everything in your house. Your electric meters would all change. As soon as you hit a certain threshold, it would automatically kill your power.
Yeah, right. But like what I'm saying is, like, let's say the big cities like New York, where you have like the really tall high-rise buildings. Let's say someone in apartment 2 used too much power. They cut that off. Can't they just go to like their neighbor in apartment 14 and say, "Hey, let me come live here for a little bit"?
Well,
they can't shut down the whole building.
As soon as they do that, then that apartment's going to start using too much power, and their power's going to get cut.
Like, the power company around here already does it. You sign up for what they call the smart plan, and it allows them to control the thermostat in your house, shut it on and off. I don't know if exactly lets them set a temperature, but if like peak hours come, they'll look through the grid and see where the peak usage is and scale everybody back. And people signed up for that. When you sign on to the power company, they say, "You want us to do this for you?" And people say, "Yeah," and the power company are it. So it's not like they would have to change anything all that drastically. They've already got the basic idea down.
Now, I got a question. If we're replacing Patrick said it. If we're replacing airplanes with trains use diesel, and it pollutes the air like crazy. Or how are these trains going to run?
They're going to be electric rail, high-speed rails.
Yeah, you put in a high-speed rail, it's powered by electromagnets. And that's if they institute that, because that's what they have in Japan. They have the high-speed magnetic rail. It's all powered by electromagnets.
So that's what she wants. That's what they want to do over here.
As far as I know, it's for transportation. I don't think that. I'm not sure if she was talking about your cargo trains going back and forth would be high-speed rail or not. But as far as personal transportation, If you got to go from New York to California, you're taking a train.
Yep. Yep. And how long, if they get these high-speed trains, how long is it going to take you?
And she also thinks that, even though it's been debunked numerous times, that we're just going to be able to put the whole entire United States power grid on windmills and solar power.
Oh, yeah.
It's in the Green New Deal, right? It's right there. It's actually in the bill that was proposed.
You
Yeah.
see, a couple of years ago, or many years ago, when they started pushing this, we got to have windmills. We got to have windmills. Then they popped up a bunch of windmills. Then the same crazy leftist jumped up and said, your windmills are killing birds. Shut the windmills off.
Yeah.
So they're not going to be satisfied with windmills because the first bird that gets chopped up in one of the wings, they're going to say, oh, no, can't do that anymore.
So isn't there a town in Texas that went totally green and it backfired on them?
Well,
I thought I read something about that.
That's possible. I know anytime anybody has tried doing these total green things, it has completely hurt their economy.
Is anybody in here from Texas in the panel or in the chat? I'm sure there's a town in Texas that went totally green and it backfired on them. And now they're trying to figure out how to get out of it and go back on the grid. You know? So. Oh, well. Oh, who joined us? Squib. How you doing?
I've had better Saturdays. How are you guys?
You're working, ain't you?
No, I'm done with work. I should be getting ready to get on the road to go to the Great Outdoor Show, but that's not going to happen now.
Why?
Say that again now?
Why is that not going to happen?
What did he say? I missed it.
He's not going to go to the outdoor show.
Oh, why?
Vehicle issues.
Oh, the old truck giving you trouble?
The old truck. That's an understatement.
Well, that's the thing you drive to work every day, right?
Yeah, I guess it's better that I have an issue here than halfway to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So if I'm lucky,
Hey, guys.
Hey, Tony.
Hey, Tony, you're back. But, I mean, from your videos, the speed you drive at is unreal anyway.
Seriously.
You know?
What are we talking about?
Apparently I drive too fast.
You've seen
What's your favorite
his
speed?
videos?
No, I don't watch you guys' fucking videos. What do you think I am?
A YouTuber? Yeah.
Only by default. What's your favorite speed to drive down the road, Squib?
Whatever it is to keep up with traffic, but I max out at 94 miles an hour. That truck won't go any faster than that. But I usually don't take it over, say, 70, 75.
Hell, when I drove out to Oklahoma, man, I set the cruise control on 85.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I found the story about that town you were talking about, Rick. It's Georgetown, Texas, and apparently they're in a lot of trouble because of when Obama left office and when Trump took office, energy prices plummeted. So they're in the hole because they're not making as much money as they thought they were going to by putting extra power back into the grid.
Okay. All right. So now you just take that on a big scale for the country, we'll be well and truly screwed. You know? I can't see. I don't know if some of you in the panel heard we were talking about. Talking about this gun socialist and nationalized medicine and all that shit. I was just telling about my sister. She's had this appointment. I said it's in March or end of March. It's only sort of like 2 months, but she's had this appointment for 6 months. She only told me about it when she talked to me on my birthday. I don't talk to her all the time. So this appointment for her MRI was given to her 6 months out. You know? So she had a 6 months wait. she's having a 6 months wait for an MRI. Then she have to wait again to see the specialist. So that's your health care for all. You know, she lives in England, by the way, my sister.
She needs to tell her doctor that she's Muslim.
Yeah,
I've heard that that's the same way in Canada and Australia too.
Yeah. Now, I mean, that's because of that they don't think it's life threatening, so they do it that way. No, if you're in a car accident and you're bleeding everywhere, they rush you into hospital and they take care of you, and it's great health care. But that's in emergency situations. If it's not life or death, you wait. That's how that system works. So.
Well, I tend to schedule my doctor's appointments for follow-up shit, even with my heart, 6 months.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to go every fucking 3 months.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's fine. We can schedule. I mean, I got an appointment already scheduled for next year. For one thing, I got to do. I think it's to have my test on the old ticker. They already booked me an appointment for next year. But that's fine.
If you got one, you mean?
Yeah, I got. But it's not that I got to wait that long. If I wanted to go see him, I can go see him next week. So.
Right, I can too. Well, actually, the 18th and the 20th, because I have 2 other doctor's appointments coming up then. I see lots of fucking doctors, which is why I don't want to go every 3 months.
What's that? What is Vanessa Kitty saying? Not free health care in an emergency room. Where do you get this idea of free? I don't know. I mean, I don't know what. I mean, over here, I know it's not free.
Yeah,
in England, I mean, okay, I haven't been in England I haven't lived in England for 25 years, so I don't keep up on the day-to-day stuff. But when I was there, healthcare was free, and all medicine was regulated.
Well, now somebody's paying for that shit.
Oh, no, don't get me wrong. When I worked in England before I worked for the U.S. government, when I worked for on the British economy, every working person pays. It's called national insurance, and it's a percent. It's based on your salary. You pay so much. The more you earn, the more you pay into it.
It's a fucking tax.
Then the government covers the rest with the rest of your tax money. That's how they do it over there, and I would imagine that's the only way it's going to work here too. That's right. I know it's not free. It's you actually paying for it. But the way they present it looks like it's put it this way: the amount of money you're paying into it is when you go, you're actually getting more than you're actually paying into it. That's like I don't know how. I'm trying to think. There's something else. Somebody mentioned it to me the other day. Well, I'm getting more out of Social Security than I ever paid into it. Even though I paid it all my working life, I'm going to get more out of it than I actually put in.
That depends on how long you live. I paid the max for years.
Yeah. It all depends on how long you live, I guess. But on the average,
you're still paying in, so there's that.
Yeah.
Well, the systems never should have been created in the first place. That's the problem that I have with the whole Social Security scheme. It should have never been created in the first place.
Social Security would function okay if they'd leave it the fuck alone.
Yeah, part of the problem is
the very first person who ever claimed Social Security ruined it for everybody else after her.
No, what ruined it for Social Security was Lyndon Johnson was constantly taking money from it, and they haven't been able to get all that money put back yet.
The first person who took money out put in like $20 and took out like $2,000. Mathematically, she ruined it for everybody.
But there's a large number of people who die really early and don't take that out. So
And if they have children, their children get Social Security until they're 18.
Well, ever since Lyndon Johnson, the government's been taking money out of Social Security. Anybody who thinks there's a Social Security trust fund is.
There was never a Social Security trust fund. From the first dollar that went in there, it got siphoned right out into some skeezy government person's pocket. It's been a scam set up from the very beginning, and it should have never existed in the first place. I apologize. I'm not trying to say that people shouldn't. I get it. It's the way things are. I don't have anything against anybody who collects Social Security. You deserve it. It's yours. But
so how would
way back to the beginning and
Social Security is a legal Ponzi scheme. You got the government taking the money out to pay for one thing, then saying the money's there when it's actually not, and then using that to pay for something.
Well, Tony already mentioned it. When they set Social Security up, you were supposed to die at 60. So they never planned on paying anybody. And now people are living to 90, and the people who came up with it and still run it today are like, man, we got to screw these people some other way because they're living too long.
So honestly, I like this conversation. How would you actually have set something up then? Or how would you do it? How would people, like me, I got Social Security disability, right? So how would I survive?
If it was never set up in the first place, it would have naturally worked itself out over time. People would have taken care of themselves, set up trust funds, been able to negotiate with their companies better for better retirement deals. There's all kinds of different ways that the free market could have allowed something like Social Security to be set up by each individual person.
Yeah, your Social Security instead of having to go to the government, could have went into a private fund that you would have set up for yourself, and you still would have had that money when you got older, and probably more than what you're getting from me.
I hate to be cold about it, but my answer for what about the people who didn't prepare well enough? Well, there's cemeteries for those people.
That is fucking cold.
Well, that's the.
You know what? It's cold, but it's honest.
That's the thing I argue with my friend about. And I think is the worst part about it all is there's so much lack of take care of yourself and do the right thing for yourself. So when you're and I lived it. When I was 20 years old, 40 didn't exist. It never existed. Nobody ever thought I'd live that long. I didn't think I'd live that long, and I had no plans for it. Now that I'm 40, I'm very, very aware that 60 is a real thing. And when I turn 60, I'm going to be ready for it as best as I can. God help me.
All right. There you go.
See, one thing I think would have happened a lot quicker was this whole individual retirement account idea. Because once we got past like the toughness right after World War II, I think people would have started realizing, hey, instead of having the Social Security tax, I need to rat hole more money because I ain't gonna be able to work forever. But the way they set it up, it's like, well, hell, you pay in Social Security, you're set when you retire.
And I'm not against government safety nets, not at all, because I do understand that, perfectly healthy John Smith is out on his job and breaks his back and didn't plan on that to happen. You can't plan on something like that happen. So I'm totally not against government helping people out when they need it. But it's just turned into everyone wants the government to give them something, and it's never good enough.
And I just don't think the government should be running people's retirement funds. And with Social Security, that's what you get. The tax money could be used by everybody. Instead of the employers paying that money to the federal government, put it aside in a retirement plan, almost like a 401k. And when you retire, you have that money. But it goes to the federal government. Government takes out Social Security money, spends it on something else, and then they're always hitting old people over the head with, you're going to run out of Social Security. Well, if they would leave it the hell alone, maybe they wouldn't.
The thing that is a benefit to the way the government set it up is your employer is forced to match what you pay.
See, my thoughts on that is if I'm employer X and Donald Trump that says you're forced to give Tony $20, Well, what if I wanted to give Tony $30? What if Tony's my best employee and I want to give him $50? Well, why should I now? I'm just going to give him 20 because the crappy employee on the other side of the plant or store or whatever it might be is a real crappy employee and he should only get $10 or nothing. You know, I think if you let business be set the free market free, let the free market do what it does, and it should work.
David, what you're talking about is personal responsibility, and people don't want that. They want the government to save them. It's one of the reasons I get bent out of shape over, I don't know, taxes and stuff. But look, everybody has an equal chance, and those who say no, I don't, whatever. Everybody's got an equal chance. If you screw it up, it should be on you to deal with your screw ups. Why should I have to pay for your? We're all out there. And in addition to having an equal chance, we all have to work hard if we want to have the best chance. If you choose not to work hard to get that best chance, how is that my problem?
They really wouldn't have to pay me a fucking dime of Social Security if they just give me back what I paid in.
Therein lies the problem with dismantling it altogether, is all the people that have put their money into it, expecting it to be there. What you're just going to tell them, oh, you're screwed. Yeah, never mind. But that's ultimately what it's going to be, is they're going to be like, well, there's nothing left to show everybody, you're just screwed. And that's absolutely wrong.
Going back to the Ponzi scheme thing, that money that Tony put in isn't there now. The money that Tony or whoever will be getting from Social Security is from who's paying in now.
And thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Paying for the people in the past because government's already taken that money.
Yeah, but I mean, back to what I'm saying though, Tony. I mean, like, I get more Social Security money than I put in. I'm sure I do. I earn more per year in Social Security payments than I put into it.
Because it's based on how financially successful you were when you worked.
Oh, yeah.
The thing is that I put into it for 35 years, and I'm not going to take out of it that long. I'll guarantee you that, unless they figure out a way to clone.
Yeah, but if you totaled up those 35 years of Social Security,
are you taxed on your Social Security? Like when you guys collect Social, you get taxed on them?
I don't get.
Nope, tax free.
You can, but I'm on disability is tax free.
No, it's not entirely tax-free. It's considered part of your base income. So let's say I Uber and Lyft on the weekends. Okay, if my income exceeds, and I forget what the number is, but a certain threshold, that's considered the base. So if I make over that base, the entire thing is indeed taxed.
Yeah, I get have to pay taxes because the old lady works too. And together we make more than our deductions are to not pay taxes.
Yeah, I mean, like I can earn. I mean, you can earn so much per year above, as you know, without getting into trouble. I think I can.
Yeah, you can earn $1,000 a month.
Is that what it is? Something like that.
It's $999, I think.
It varies by the individual. It's not a hard number.
It is in my book. But at any rate, I absolutely ain't working, because if I could work, I'd go and have a fucking job.
Yeah. I mean, now that I'm sort of out of the workforce, for years as I was getting older and I could see that 60 mark coming up, I used to say to myself, "Oh, I can't wait to retire." I was born to retire. I used to come up with all kinds of things I used to say, but now I've been sitting here and being on what you call a fixed income. We talked about this at the beginning of the show. My fixed income is a lot. It's about how much I get per year in disability. I earned almost double that being on the workforce, and I miss that. So I would keep on working.
I'll tell you what, when you're unable to do a lot of shit, that retirement thing seems, while it may look good from the outside, it's extremely fucking boring when you can't do nothing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But
right.
that's not true, Tony. You can do stuff. You're doing something right now.
Yeah, well, this is fucking boring.
Yeah, well, people make a living answering the phone.
I can't lift my fucking arms to answer the phone.
Well, I mean,
all right, never mind.
What I do is not a great example, but it is an example. Is I drive for Lyft and Uber part-time.
Yeah. No, I'll be honest with you. I thought of selling my truck and getting a vehicle that I could use for that, you know, to make some extra income. Because sitting down driving, I can drive. You know, I only have to sort of like stop every couple of hours, get out and move around for 10 minutes and get back in, and I can drive some more. You know, so.
And like I said, it's not for everybody. I'm just saying that even for just a few hours a week, there are things that not everybody, but some people can do. And I would much rather be partially engaged than totally disengaged, because then I'm just existing. I'm not living.
Yes. Yeah, I know. I see where you're coming from. I really do. You know.
Yeah, right now I can't drive. My eye doctor's like, nope, if you're no driving for you, because my corneas are so screwed up. I have like no depth perception right now. So yeah, my eye doctor's like, no, you're not driving until you. So I gotta wait to see the specialist to see if I need surgery and all this other crap on my eyes before I can get that taken care of.
I'd consider myself lucky that I'm able to mow my yard.
And
just because I got a riding lawnmower. I mean, I absolutely can't with push mower.
I mean, here's a good example. I vacuumed my my house today. You know, it's all one ground floor, so I'm lucky there. But I have to walk with the vacuum. I keep the vacuum in my left hand, and I'm using the vacuum, and I got the cord, part of the cord, and the cane in my right hand. You know, and that's how I have to vacuum. But at the end, when I finished, I tell you, even right now, sitting here, my back is killing me. You know, so trying to find a job, I have to find a job where I'm sitting down. I think I can't stand up for long periods, and I can't walk. I can walk, but I can't walk a fair distance, you know, without dying. So
right, I can't stand for more than 5 minutes at a time without having to either get out my cane or lean against something. Now I can walk, but I just can't stand.
Yeah,
I've got the perfect remedy for everybody. Just get a nice healthy dose of OxyContin and stay on prescriptions forever. Isn't that what the doctors do now?
No, that's what Obama said to do. That's what he said on national TV to do.
That doesn't work either, because I've been on freaking narcotics for about probably 10 years.
In all seriousness, Rick, you got a Walmart in your area?
Do what?
You have a Walmart in your area?
Yeah, about 12 miles away.
You could do the greeter thing at Walmart where my kids work.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking about checking that out, actually, to be quite honest.
The greeter, the greeter at the Walmart my kids work at sits on his scooter greeting people as they come in the store.
Yeah. Yep. And Tony, you said you operate a riding lawnmower. Well, they got a riding floor scrubber for nights on Walmart. They got to clean that floor sometime.
It takes me 18 minutes of that riding lawnmower to mow my yard.
If you've seen a guy at the Commerce Township Walmart at 11 o'clock at night driving around that floor scrubber, he as fast as he goes, I think he just gets the whole store done in 18 minutes.
And
you're lucky not to get run over by that old guy.
What I failed to mention on that is after I get done mowing the yard, I got to go to bed.
And that's what my whole point behind it all is if the government will get out of people's way, then when you work for 35, 40, 50 years of your life and decide I'm going to sit down in my favorite chair and watch TV at noon every day of the week, you should be able to do that. But you have to have the responsibility of this is what I'm going to do with my life, this is what I'm going to do with my money, this is how we're going to conduct ourselves. But every time you make a plan like that, the government sticks its little stinking face involved and says, no, you got to do it this way. No, you got to do it that way. You have to pay for this. You have to pay for that. You can't have this. You can't have that. And then it makes people work for 50 years, retire, and then have to go get jobs.
Yeah. And the other thing, too, is you go right back to that personal responsibility. You have the people who, no matter what they've got in front of them, will not take the right steps to take care of themselves as long as the government is there to do it for them. If they gave you a choice, if you were 18 years old and they go, all right, you're an adult now, you sign this one, you get Social Security. You sign this one, you get to keep all your money, but you can't ever claim Social Security. How many people would go, screw that, I want the money now, but then when they get older go, oh, I don't want to work. Well, why didn't you, like Kingpin was saying, why didn't you put away for later? I mean,
it'd be the same people that if they were able to order something off Amazon and get it delivered today, they would.
Well, most of our parents. Go ahead, Tom.
There's another group that, we're just ignoring completely, and these are probably the biggest drain, and that's people who are generationally on Social Security that haven't worked at all.
Yeah, you got grandma, you got ma, you got pregnant daughter. They're all living in the house, but they're all not necessarily on the lease, so that they can maximize their benefits, because the one education they did receive, which is generationally, is how to milk the system.
Oh yeah. If you actually look at the rules of people on Social Security, it's not only people that have never worked it are collecting Social Security. You also have rich people collecting Social Security. People that don't even need it are collecting it.
Oh yeah, you're right there. You're right there. I mean, I had a friend, well, not a friend, an associate in Rhode Island, and he had a decent job. He, had a great 401 retirement plan, and he had investments, and he was fairly well off. And I asked him one day, he said, I've got enough to live on what I made until well past, he said, I'll be leaving some of it to my kids. He had that much, but he went and drew Social Security. He said, it's mine. He said, I paid into it. He said, I want it back. But I know where you're going with that, Rich. I'm thinking, well, you got all this money, but you still want more,
I mean, I have to agree with your first statement. It's their money. I don't care if Bill Gates is collecting Social Security. If he paid into it, then it's his money.
Yeah, I agree.
I can see the point on that, but then you got to look at it from the angle of Social Security possibly being one of their, when it was set up, was supposed to be one of their security nets. If you've got enough money where you don't need to live off that Social Security, do you really need that safety net? So
it doesn't matter. They've paid in, though.
I'm just saying there's different ways of looking at that, too.
There's a shitload of people who haven't paid into it forever.
Yep.
Going back to the whole Social Security running out of money thing is what you got to look, there's different angles to look at this from. I still say the government shouldn't be involved in Social Security to begin with.
No, because, well, they shouldn't, and they should pay back what in the hell they've taken, too.
I doubt like hell if I get back what I paid in. I don't think I'm going to live that long, to be honest. It's very unlikely if I'll live to 65.
I mean, here, example, if you say, I don't know how much it is. I'm not going to tell you how much. I get more than $20,000 a year in disability, more than that, right?
You must be a hell of a lot more disabled than I am, because I get like half that.
Right.
Yeah, but isn't disability something your employer pays into a fund? That's not necessarily Social Security. Social Security is something that comes out of your paycheck, whereas the disability, isn't that?
You pay on disability too.
Yeah. I mean, your employer pays into Social Security too for you.
Right. Yeah. The employer matches what you pay into Social Security and Medicaid both.
Yeah. But where I'm going is, I did not pay into Social Security even when I was working for the U.S. government and earning buku bucks, right? I did not pay $20,000 Social Security taxes a year.
The idea is you're paying less a year, but you're paying for a lot more fucking years than you're planning to take it out. Was the theory.
You know.
Yeah, Vanessa asks, when did you start having money taken out in Social Security taxes? I started paying Social Security taxes when I was 17 years old, when I was working a summer job as a lifeguard at one of the city pools in Pittsburgh.
If I can tell you,
That was the first
1977 is when I started paying it.
Well, I worked on the British economy before I went to work for the U.S. government, and I started paying Social Security, and I can tell you exactly when. February the 4th, 1982 is when I started paying Social Security.
Have any of you ever looked at a pay stub and looked at your federal and then your state and then your Social Security, and the Social Security was the highest number, and you're not like claiming extra dependents either?
Yep. I actually did all the math for my paychecks. We didn't have, quote unquote, a accounting department that wrote out your checks. I figured all my own shit out, which is how I know that my employer matched what I paid, because I did all that friggin' paperwork.
Yeah, I started, it was June of 91.
Yeah. See, I think I'm the oldest guy here on the panel anyway. So
I started when I was 16. So that would have been, let's see,
77, same as me.
Yeah, 77. Yeah, same as Tony, because Tony and I were born in the same year.
You guys were in driver's ed when I was in kindergarten.
Yep.
I was born in 77, if it makes you feel any better.
I was born in 74. I started kindergarten in 79.
God damn.
I got to be the youngest one on the panel. Damn.
How old are you, Declan?
Get out of here. You got to go.
Yeah, you're still a youngster, Vanessa.
How old are you, Declan?
Who?
The blind shooter.
Oh.
Yeah.
20.
So I was born in 57. Okay, so
Finest looking Chevrolet ever made in that year.
it was a great Chevy. I know it was. You know.
Blind shooter, I didn't hear what you said. I heard 20, but that's it. Rick jumped all over you.
I heard it 29.
Well, Rick, if you'd let him get an answer out, we might hear him.
I heard
act like this is a fucking show or something.
I heard him.
Show it, and so he can go eat his ham sandwich.
Yeah. I can leave if you want me to.
You want me to answer that one honestly?
I just actually, so what is it, 29? Is that correct?
Hell, me and Squib can argue about lots of shit for the next half hour or so.
David wants to throw us all overboard.
Hey, man, I'm cold and heartless. I can't help it.
Hell, I'll just pick shit even if I agree with Squib, and I'll take the other side just to argue. Did that when I was a kid with my uncle a lot.
I mean, for somebody, for anyone who has what I'll call greater than 20 years to recover from all of a sudden the knowledge that, gee, Social Security is a failure, yeah, you've got some time. You might be able, be able to make that up. We all probably don't have 20 years. In fact, we don't.
Hey,
if your employer offers a 401k at all costs, get involved with that, especially if they match it, because that's just free money.
Yeah, 401k, 403k, whatever your employer has for a retirement fund, jump on that if you get the opportunity.
What, David?
Squib would be happy if you played devil's advocate and put together some content with him.
Oh, I just lost my lunch. Later I'm going to have to eat some green bean casserole to feel better.
A big pot of beans here.
Thank you.
Extra onions in it, right?
The power on squib. I don't know if you were paying attention.
Dude, you know what? And here's the thing, too. Now that I'm not going to Pennsylvania, I can't go get some more Yingling and Tasty Cakes. Oh.
Yeah. But, were you paying attention at all to the chat during Travis's show earlier, Squib?
Caliber Corner?
During Caliber Corner. Were you paying attention to the YouTube chat at all?
Oh, no. I was at work. I was doing preventative maintenance on a machine. I just had my earbud in.
We were recasting Cheers with Gun Channels people, and you were elected to be Carla.
Carla?
I can actually see that.
Huh.
Yeah, I can too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's not about what gender she was. She had that hard-edged personality.
Hey,
Right,
you
that's what
know,
I'm saying.
if you knew enough about my past, you'd know why I'm not this sensitive, charitable pussy.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I ain't overly sensitive. I might have a little bit of charitableness to me, but not much. I sure as fuck ain't pussy.
Okay, real quick, I'm going to do the question for next week's quiz. And I showed everybody what that was for those patches and stuff. All right? And it's real because it's not a big prize like a hat. So the question's not – I made the questions easier because I don't have any great hats to give away. So the question is – and this one is so easy – but it's email only, so don't put the answer in the chat. All right. You ready? What movie has Bruce Willis, Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Chuck Norris in the same movie?
Wizard of Oz.
Yes, that's it.
No, it was Gone with the Wind.
Now that one had Clark Gable.
Well, did Rick say that Clark Gable wasn't in the movie? He was the same people that were also in the movie.
Yeah, so Bruce Willis, Sylvester Stallone, Chuck Norris, and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That is easy.
What film did all four of those play in together? Email me at rickslifeasiseeit@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. There we go. That's the question.
The best Stallone and Arnold combination was in The Last Action Hero, where they had Stallone as Rambo or as Terminator, and Arnold said Rambo's pussy.
Dramatic pause.
I was just saying, God damn, I didn't mean to kill a friggin' chat.
Has anybody got anything else they wish to talk about?
Considering that I wasn't here for most of the show and don't know what was already talked about, no.
We covered, gun laws and stuff like that in the government, and you didn't miss much. So, all right. I'm going to go through the panel for our goodbyes, plugs, shout-outs, whatever you wish to do. And we'll start with Blind Shooter.
Thank you. Appreciate it. For the NRA and you haven't gotten your ballot yet, please call and I ask that you kindly vote for Anthony Calandro for NRA so he can stir the shit potting.
Okay. Dano.
Thanks.
No shout out. That's it. No shout outs or plugs, something.
I love you all.
All right.
Please pray for Illinois.
Yes. Kingpin.
Yep. Check out Rick's Life as I See It. Like, share, and subscribe. And Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, Saturdays at 3. Also, check out Mr. Knives' Daily Lobby over on Gun Channels.
going to say, I hope the hell they realize that they're actually listening to Rick's Life as I See It anyway.
And
maybe not. Hell, I may be expecting way too much of people.
Rich, any shout outs or plugs?
Let's see. Tonight, Obnoxious is doing his Aren't You Glad It's Not the Closer show. I believe that's at 10 o'clock tonight, if I remember right, Eastern. Him and Sarge will alternate when their shows are on. But yeah, his is tonight. I don't know if Gun Snob's doing his show tonight because him and his wife are out doing who knows what.
He said he's going to try to be back.
Yeah. Let's see. Tomorrow night on the Unloaded Media channel, we have my show at 8 Eastern. And then after that, got the closer over our Midnight Ranges show.
Okay. All right, Tony, any shout outs or plugs?
Not that haven't already been covered.
All right.
Everybody have a good day.
Yeah. Oh, also, before I sign off here, guys, and this is for everybody listening in the chat, on Wednesday nights, I have Rick's Life as I See It, Shooting with Disabilities. If anybody's got any questions they want asked or anything, please email me with your questions. It helps me, with the actual show. I would appreciate it. And you can mail them at the normal address, rickslifeasiseeit at gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com.
And I will add this. If those of you on YouTube are not members of gun channels, why not? It's free.
That's right.
That kind of stuff there. Hop on over there and join.
All right. So I want to say thank you all for being here on YouTube and gun channels. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And we'll see you on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern.